And then restoring the Windows 90X registry from a backup. Replace the current registry from a backup copy if the registry is corrupted. Pressing F8 to restart the system in DOS mode. And then you can type scanreg/restore, specify the location, and it will restore it for you. To start the registry checker in restore mode, that's how you do it, scanreg/restore. Select the last known good registry backup from the list of .cab files. And then if new hardware caused a problem, remove it from the system before the registry repair occurs. Using the Windows 2000 Recovery Console. It can be used to restore a damaged or corrupt registry. It can be used with the Emergency Repair Disk or ERD to recover the system. It is not automatically installed during a normal 2000 setup or Windows 2K setup. It must be used with care. Improper use could cause loss of data and possibly damage the system. Recovery console procedure. Start the recovery console rather than the OS. Start the recovery console rather than the OS. Use the CD command to change the directory to x:\WinNT repair reg backup directory. Copy, so X represents whatever drive you're going to point to, right? Copy the files you want to restore into the directory and completely restore the registry by copying 5 files from the reg backup directory. They are default, SAM, or security account management, security, software, and system. Ensure that all files have been copied to the config directory and then exit and restart the system. You may likely see test questions about this. Everyone gets questions from a pool for these types of tests and the ones you will take in the future. So I can't say exactly whether or not you'll see these, but these are very likely. These come up a lot from the pool. So the MS-DOS application incompatibilities. Windows 90X and Windows 2K might have problems with some MS-DOS applications because they're not they may not allocate things properly or something like that. For example, people had a lot of problems with games that wouldn't run when the graphical program versions came out and became prominent. So we had to run them in little specific shells that had specific memory and things like that. So improved memory management allows most MS-DOS applications to run better in newer versions of Windows than they did in Windows 3.1.1. This is true, but then we had to get DOS emulators to actually emulate a real disk operating system like 622, for example. So if you have a game that you're dragging around, or they may have games that they're dragging around from back in the day if the people are older that are owning the systems that you're working on, you may need to use a DOS emulator. They're still out there, they're free, you can download them. They were pretty pricey when they came out. Some DOS applications cannot locate a recognizable DOS version and do not run, so therefore you need the emulator. Some legacy DOS programs or applications use resources in a way that is not compatible with Windows and can cause a system to hang unless you're running them in an emulator. So we solve all of these problems with emulators. Supporting MS-DOS legacy apps. MS-DOS apps check the version number of MS-DOS before running. We just mentioned that. If the application reads a version it does not recognize, it crashes or may error out accordingly and exit. To trick the application into reading the version it expects, use the following line in the config sys file. Device equals C:\windows /setversion.exe. And then find the file name of the application's module by using Quick View. If necessary, install Quick View with add remove programs in the control panel. So inside of the control panel, there's an add remove program section, and then you can kind of specify a whole list of things that aren't installed by default. So I suggest you look into this if you don't know about it already. This is a very important component. Add the following section of the WinINI file. Compatibility, module name, or module underscore name equals 0x002000000, right? So 200,000. Or you could run an emulator. Other DOS workarounds. So these were some other things that we used to try right here. You could set up something like this. You could run this kind of command prompt with a few switches, and then you might be able to launch your application. Or you could launch an emulator and use that, run an emulator. Advanced options for MS-DOS workarounds. So we had to do this thing, suggest MS-DOS mode as necessary, and then you could check MS-DOS mode and set some things in here for this particular shell or window.